Coming up in this episode of the KickCast, a coffee cup that you can eat, a book that uncovers toys long lost, and a device that reminds you the last time something moved. So sit back and relax. It's time for the KickCast. Hey everybody, it is time for another episode of the KickCast, the podcast where we go out and find crowdfunding projects and let you know if you should backtrack or sack them. I'm Ktdata, one half the show. Joining me is the man who is probably going to win Husband of the Year. Or at least I'm going to shoe in for that.
Going to someday, I'm going to.
It's the one and only Drew Tyler. No, full disclaimer, he is not my husband, but Peach is one lucky lady.
I am Peach's husband. But yes, apparently I'm getting up there on the Man of the Year scale because this year I remembered gifts and treats for Valentine's Day. Yep. Yeah. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
Yep. So I swear what happens is they're going to have the Man of the Year award. They're going to take that envelope, and even if they don't say your name, you should still go up there because they probably gave them the wrong envelope.
That's right. That's right.
So
I'm taking you up on that.
So if you guys have not seen the show before, first of all, welcome to the show. Before we go into our projects, we have some sweet news. And the first one is, again, it's an update to something that is near and dear to Drew's and myself's heart, is Kickstarter Live. They launched maybe, 3 months ago now?
Yeah, it's been about 2.5, 3 months, yeah.
And they've actually, what I love about it is because sometimes you get those people who like, okay, here's this new toy, and then they forget about the new toy. Kickstarter has actually added some new tools to Kickstarter Live, and I don't know if this was available before or not, but now you can actually, the app is front-end, the video version, when you're in your actually iPhone app, is up and center, so you can watch it on your phone, which is great.
That is cool.
Because was it you, Drew, who told me that like a majority of traffic now is going through mobile devices, so it makes total sense that they should have the live video on mobile devices.
Anything you're doing live, because the whole point of live when it was in the broadcast world, it was like we would plan our whole lives around it and be home at a certain time. So if you're going to be doing live in the internet world, anything live should be accessible mobile because it's going to be with you. So whatever you're doing, you can tune in. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I love how they list that it's when you actually go to the live in section in the app, it tells you which ones are live right now, upcoming ones, or the ones that have been completed in the past 48 hours, which you can rewatch, which I always love. And you can always tune in. And then on the homepage, they've done the same thing where it's because before live, it was just a section you go in, and if you were lucky, you saw it, right? Or if you saw a project and they just barely did one, you're like, oh, I can watch it. Yep. Now they have a full section, a directory that you can go through and do the same thing, which I really like. Which I appreciate when you include more UI and to watch live, and maybe one day they'll just have a section where we can stream this podcast all the time.
That seems like a good thing to do.
It's wishful thinking, but okay. So back to Indiegogo. I think this is one unique thing that we've seen in Indiegogo over the past 6 months, is that they've been focusing on more and more on getting partnerships with Indiegogo to help creators make the projects. I mean, Arrow is one of their biggest ones. They worked with Hasbro to make a party game this year.
That's right, yeah. Yep.
So this company, I don't know if you've heard of this company, but they are the 5th largest global household and personal care company. They're called RB. They own like the Lysol brands, Durex, Woolite, Nurofen. Okay. I know the first 3, I think. So what they're doing is they're partnering up with Indiegogo with the Healthier Tomorrow Challenge. So what they're looking for are health and home and hygiene products to potentially take worldwide to worldwide retail next year.
That would make sense.
Which is kind of insane. Not only that, with support from the company's marketing, R&D, and product development teams.
You get some powerhouse there, right? Right. Hello.
I mean, who wouldn't want the guys who brand Lysol and stuff to help make all the stuff, right? So
you got to put. I mean, it's about who you know, and this is if you got a good idea, getting it in front of the right people.
Yeah. What's great about it is, I think the deadline is the day we're recording. Oddly enough, that you can apply. So if you're watching live, you can probably still submit.
You got time.
But what I like about it is if you go down to this article, they give you 10 principles for success. And this is stuff that we mention a lot. One of them is strategic fit is crucial. So do your homework.
Right.
how many times have you and I seen a project and we're like, does anybody need that?
Right. And this one having a specific niche, like this is what we're looking for this purpose, then yeah, they'll be vetting pretty hard to just be like, excuses.
This other one is a big one too. Be clear on what you want from a partner. So if you're going to find a partner, you want to lay out the details, make sure everybody's clear because no one knows your business like you. So you should be very clear on what it is and what big business can offer you and what you actually want. Think about your vision and value proposition. So don't just say, "Hey, I have this cool thing." Be like, "Okay, I have this cool thing. This, I want my business to do this, this, and this. This is how we're going to potentially make a, revenue stream is by doing this, this, and this." And then lay it all out because if you don't, you may be like, "Well, I wanted it the other way," and then you're like, "Well, why didn't you say so?"
Right. Let's talk through this. Let's figure it out.
The next one is be clear on what you have to offer. I'm a big fan of transparency, so if just be clear about that, and number 4 is put the consumer first, which is always important because that's the strong point about crowdfunding, right? Is getting feedback from all the people who are backing and all and the like. And then be honest about the commercial opportunity. Drew, you and I are in the world of startups, and I think this is probably one of the hardest things, right? Anybody you talk to is like, we're going to be the next big X. We're going to be making millions in the next 2 days.
It's hard because you want to have that optimism. You want to have that kind of hope because you shouldn't be doing it if you don't have that expectation or hope. But at the same time, you've got to have the brains to know when you are, where the balance is so that you can be so excited and stoked about it and really put your passion into it. But at the same time, you don't want to put that much energy, be that crazy about something or fanatical about something if it's really not even possible, right? Or feasible. And so some people will surround themselves with yes men, right? The whole team will be like, yeah. And then when it flops, everybody kind of looks around and goes, well, what do we, okay, next one. So that's a hard one. That's a hard one.
I always like to be kind of the devil's advocate when people are like, and I'll ask questions. And I think some people around me think, why are you so like negative? But I'm like, no, I'm just trying to make sure this is solid where we're going. Number 6 is a big one. Think globally. We're in the world of the internet age, and it still blows my mind that there are more than 2 people total, and not to mention more than 2 people outside of Utah that listen to this show. But somehow that happens. So like, don't just think about your little area. Think about how it could reach other people because the internet, there's no borders so far.
Right. So smaller niche type ideas, they can reach far enough to find, a critical mass.
Yeah. And this is the one that I always remind people, think of your logistics, like shipping and stuff. This is where it can bite you. Many a time I've run contests for the site and totally forgot that people do listen outside the US and end up paying like $16 to ship 4 dice across the sea. So
right.
The other one is understand the competitive landscape. It's not just sunshine and flowers. There are other people thinking about stuff, even if you think your space is just you, right? So you want to know how that goes. You want to know if there isn't anybody who could potentially come into your marketplace and start taking a bite of your profits too. 8, know the numbers. That's pretty straightforward. Again, logistics, shipping is expensive, my friends. Number 9, sell your company, not just your product. This is a big one too, because you see a lot of these projects that are so focused on one thing, and then when that one thing is done, you're like, whatever happened to those guys?
Right. Well, I'm trying to think of one. I backed something a while ago, over a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, the Thing Charger, and they're out launching a whole nother round, and I don't think I've ever seen my actual Thing.
I don't think I got mine either. I may need to email them.
And they're off into a whole new project now, and it's kind of like,
I know they were shipping.
Think about it.
I just never got mine. And then last but not least, finally keep the pitch short and impactful, which is always great because you imagine when you're talking to partners and people who are looking at crowdfunding projects, we live in a world where it's overwhelming now. So you want to go straight to the point. Don't lollygag, and make an impact. Make sure you do something that they'll remember you. Don't just like do the same thing. I mean, now, like, have you noticed this where you get kicked? I think it's one marketing company that buys Facebook ads for crowdfunding projects, But like all their headlines in my Facebook feed when I see it, and I know it's them too. It's like, you won't believe this incredible product. It's the world's blah 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 thing. It's the next changing thing.
The next thing, yeah. Click this.
It's like, or they raised X amount of money. Click on it. I just skip over them now.
Yep.
All right, so those are the our quick news items, and now we're off to our kick shouts, which this is interesting because this got emailed to us. Drew, I know you're not a coffee drinker, but you were in Southeast Asia, right? For a couple
That's true.
years?
There is a connection there. I have spent some time in Southeast Asia, so that's.
But so you've probably been exposed to the world of Vietnamese coffee, right?
No, no, I didn't say that I've been exposed.
Because Asian coffee is a little bit different than what you get at your local Starbucks here, right?
Right. The closest coffee that I got in my Southeast Asia we called it Tinatong na Bigas. Bigas, not big ass, big ass. And it was burnt rice. It was burnt rice coffee. So you would burn the rice on a pot for so long that it would actually turn the water brown, and you drink that. So it was burnt rice coffee. That's as much as I got.
All right, so Vietnamese coffee, it is like the world's second most favorite type of coffee that you can get out there. But in the U.S., not a lot of people know about this, and I didn't think about this until they sent me this project because growing up Asian, this was like a normal thing. But right? have you seen those? I don't know if you saw them in the Philippines or not, but they'd have a little coffee thing on top where they put the coffee in. And then you put the hot water and it slowly kind of drips through, right, to the bottom of it. And there's, sometimes it's iced if you want it chilled, but the cream and stuff is all the way at the bottom. So Vietnamese coffee is actually a pretty big way. And what they're actually doing is selling the beans too that you can get. Because I've always been used to it, but it's like super concentrated. And what they're doing is they're actually selling you coffee beans that are actually from Vietnamese. Using different blends, and this guy's name is Diet Mar, and he came from Vietnam because he wanted it's the U.S. right opportunities, right? So he started his own coffee company, and what he's doing now with this Kickstarter project is to actually one, sell the beans, and two, introduce people on how this coffee is made, because it's called Cafe Soda, in Vietnam, and this stuff is so good. Right here, you see the little top thing, and then
it looks like a little mini robot on top of your drink. It's like a coffee shot.
Yeah. So there's the coffee that you can see, and then below it is there cream to it too, and then they also add some condensed milk to it, and it is really good.
How interesting!
It is really good. It's a little bit stronger than what you'll get here, but it actually lasts a lot longer than what you'll get in. A little bit longer because it's totally super concentrated. So he's starting a book. So for as €3, which is about $6, if I'm doing the conversion right, is you'll receive an ebook from them, which is The Art of Coffee. And if you want to get the beans, it starts at about $16. If I'm $9. Wow. I really suck at stupid Europe and their space points. But yeah, so you can donate it. So that's a quick shout. It's kind of a long name. Introducing the fascinating world of Vietnamese coffee. Check them out and help him reach his goal. So
not bad. I almost wish I drank coffee.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that talking about coffee, our first project of the night is related to coffee. But Drew,
all right.
You drink the hot chocolate? Maybe sometimes the tea?
I love a hot chocolate.
Okay. So you go to Starbucks or your local place, you get your hot chocolate, right? It's pretty good. You down it. What do you do with the cup? Especially if you're traveling with the girl, going out with the girls and stuff, you just have this empty cup right at the end.
Yeah, I throw it in the other passenger seat, and it just goes until I get 10 of them.
Yeah, and they start piling up. You're like, man, I drink a lot of hot chocolate.
Yeah, it's true.
So, our first project is called Cup Fee. And it is designed to solve this problem of just having tons of coffee cups. And it is a edible wafer cup for coffee.
Edible cup.
So you can eat this cup. It's made out of, what is it, oats, I believe.
What?
So what you do is you pour your drink into it. They've designed it so that this cup, if you have a hot liquid in it, it will still be crispy after an hour.
Oh wow!
And it's not going to fall apart, like, because you think of your ice cream cones and stuff, and you're like, oh no, that's just. But this is like, if you look at the picture, it's a fairly thick cup.
Meant to be eaten when you're done.
Yeah, meant to be eaten, or if you're not going to eat it, when you throw it away, it is going to biodegrade much faster than the plastic cup or the styrofoam cup that you may be getting from other places. Yeah, so on the label, the recommended time is 40 minutes in terms of how long it lasts. But yeah,
plenty of people drink their coffee in 40 minutes, so it's not.
And then, it kind of makes sense for you to eat it, munch along, because I mean, how many times if somebody has like a cookie or a biscuit or something along those lines when you're drinking your coffee, right?
Right.
I love this idea that it's just made out of, I forgot what it was made out of. It's oats or something. So the only drawback I have with this is I have no idea how that wafer tastes.
Right. It's made out of natural grain products. Fantastically delicious and crispy. I think that would be the iffy part. Like you're not just buying cups here or even throwaway cups. You're purchasing, like, I don't know, like they're almost $2 a piece. Like you're putting some money into your cup.
Yeah,
better taste.
You know what I would do is, if I could, I'd have them make an Oreo version of it.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Finish the coffee and then have the Oreo.
or what are those Biscoff?
Yeah,
those Biscoff flavors. Those would be good too. I used to have a. I probably used to have it. It's probably used to is a Biscoff spread somewhere around.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Isn't Biscoff? That's kind of the stuff you get on airplanes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our friend Glenn probably is passing them out right now if he's working.
he's playing Horizon Zero Dawn. That's what he's doing right now.
Because he's smart and plans release week to have off.
He does. He absolutely he does. But yes, I call those the grown-up graham crackers, the Biscoff. Like, that's grown-up graham crackers. It's good and healthy.
Yeah. So right now you can get 15 for $25 plus shipping, which includes 15 of the cups and then 15 of the elegant labels. I guess that labels are what you make the handle out of, but I don't know.
Oh.
Is this something you use for your hot chocolate? Maybe?
I don't know, man. This was a track for me. Like, I feel like it's a cool idea and it's neat and it's fun.
They even have stirs.
I feel like it would be a better, like a gimmick at a shop. Like, here, welcome to the coffee shop, and oh yes, if you want, you can order the edible cup too. I just don't see anybody as a real coffee drinker being like, yeah, I'm gonna add $2 to every coffee that I drink, because every cup, daily cup, multiple cups, I'm gonna put an edible cup for two.
Well, if it lasts about 40 minutes, you could use it for more than one cup of coffee.
Have a cup. Yep. But I just think at this price point, it's not cost effective. I drink a lot, but not coffee. I drink soda. But even if I had somebody offer me a soda,
I'm glad you clarified that. And just not stop with I drink a lot.
I drink a lot, guys. So if I had something that would go with my drink, I don't know. I think it would have to be like 25 cents and be like, yeah. Then I'd spring 25 cents each drink, because I knew I was going to either eat the cup or make it biodegrade. I'm sorry. $2 is steep for me, so it's a track. I'll watch and see what they do.
Yeah, this one's a track for me too, just because, like, I'm thinking when I drink coffee, I kind of have you kind of have your, like, lucky mug and stuff that you go with. Yeah. So I use a lucky mug when I'm drinking my coffee and stuff.
That's why I think I could totally see it being like part of a gimmick of like a shop you go to and order it with that fancy wrapper, and then it's
unless they get the Oreo crust and.
You're in.
That may convince me to do it. All right. So on to our next project of the night. Which
I just want to see this segue.
So we go from coffee. I drink a lot of coffee, and when I drink a lot, it's a busy day. The other thing that I tend to do is I have a lot of toys that just sit here, and I probably forget about them and stuff. So this book might be for me, right?
Not bad at all. This book might be for you. Funny you should mention that. So the second project that we want to cover tonight in our show is a book called Toys That Time Forgot. It's a book about unproduced toys. So kind of a high-end art book that highlights the series of lost, as they call them, lost toy projects, action figures, and things that have kind of spanned the last couple of decades that never made it to production. And so what really intrigued me about this idea was that I recognized so many of the franchises that didn't have toys. Check out some of these. The first one, there's a Dark Crystal. Like, remember the Dark Crystal?
Cool. Yeah, that would be so cool.
That they don't exist, but they got far enough to be prototypes. So somebody has them, and this guy's gonna and spend a couple of years hunting things down, taking pictures, documenting them. So I don't know the Bucky O'Hare, but Osmosis Jones character. Right?
I would have loved Osmosis Jones. That would have been so cool.
So they have his own character there, and then Earthworm Jim and several others that just never made it, never happened. You can see that right there in the back corner. There's a picture of the Dark Crystal.
Yeah, and then you see this what's his name?
Super Grover.
Yeah, Super Grover. I'm surprised that's not a toy.
Right?
Oh man, that would have been so cool. I don't even know what these alligator things are, but I want one.
But I want one. Right? So I think to me that's what really is interesting about this book is that it's basically a coffee table book that this guy's gone out and found all kinds of really cool, lost toys and created a memoriam, right? You never got to see these, but I went and found the only one that made it into production, or I went and found pictures of the prototypes from companies. So everything is done on the book, almost done. The final hurdle, he says, is printing. So getting it printed and sent out.
It's an expensive book, but I don't buy a lot of.
It is a price book. I see it as, I definitely see it as a collector's book because the pledges start at $50 for a single hardback copy. $50. So if you were going to get this, it would be because you wanted to be a sole owner of this. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's a pricey one, but they've got a week to go. They're within $5,000 of their goal, so they've already got 25,000 out of the 30,000. So they're doing well and they're pushing, and the project's being ran very well with a number of comments and updates that kind of keep it alive. So I'm excited for them. I'm hopeful that they can push last little percent and get up and over the edge. So what I love is just how unique it is.
Yeah.
We do talk about it. We think it's cool, but somebody out there has said, you know what? I have the means. I am a journalist. I can go find this stuff and make a book. And so they're highlighting, I think, what they say, 20, 10 pages a piece on these 20 toys. So it's looks like it's more in depth rather than flip the page to see how many things. It's here's the story of this one thing that never became, and here's the layout for the expose. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, I want this so bad. And so if you, I think a lot of people know, I am a huge Transformers fan. Not the Michael Bay crap, the old stuff,
early stuff, right?
The early 80s stuff that essentially each episode was a 20-minute commercial. I will admit to that, but dang, that 20-minute commercial worked well on me because I always look back and it worked on a lot of people because if you think about it, some of those old Transformer toys now, even the reissues are $200 a piece.
Oh, wow. Yep.
But I love looking at them and just seeing them, I know people like the slick and streamlined toys, but you look at the blocky Optimus Prime and kind of the doodads and stuff that have to come with it, the little roller piece that you miss and stuff. So I really like this book. I'm actually bummed out that I missed out on the $80 tier where you could get a exclusive lithograph of Super Grover done by Alex Ross.
Yep.
That was
already sold out.
Yeah. Even though I'm kind of eyeing the $400 Earthworm Jim one, but that's $400.
Yeah, there's that one for Earthworm Jim, and then there is what is there?
There's a Dark Crystal fan.
Tribes and Dark Crystal, huh?
Oh man, I like this book. I'm tempted to back it just because there's just something about the lore of old toys and just the design aesthetic to it that you're like, wow.
Yep. So, this is back for me as well because they're almost there. It's really close. Toys that time forgot.
Yep. All right. So speaking of things that time forget, how often have you put something like Drew, the milk, you leave it, or just a sandwich that you had left over, you leave it in the fridge, and then 4 weeks later, your wife pulls it out, and you're like, oops.
Oops.
Can I still eat that?
Yep. I do that all the time. In fact, I'll text her a picture and I'll be like, hey, is this safe? I don't remember how old it is.
That's a smart thing. I don't have anybody I can do that with. I just have to roll the dice.
Yeah. That's why you need a girl. They tell you how to live.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm still alive, to be honest with you. So for our last project of the night, it's called the Thingzo. That is an awesome name. Thingzo.
The Thingzo is yep.
Yeah. But it is a device that you can actually attach to things. So it has like a 3M sticky tape thing on it. And it has a timer on it too. So once you like attach it and you turn it on, it has an e-ink display. And what it does is just starts a timer. And once it detects movement, there's an accelerometer in it. It triggers the timer to reset. And then that way you can have a good estimate on the last time things were moved. This is great. Like, I like the example they put on the water filters, because I mean, who remembers the last time they changed their heater filter, or who changed the water filter, right?
No clue.
This is great. You put it on the actual thing where you have to move to replace the filters and stuff. Bam, done, good to go. And it will give you a good idea when you did it. So I love how simple it is. Since it's e-paper, it lasts like
I think they said forever. 999 days, right? So you're talking a couple of years.
So that's how high the timer goes, but I think it goes for 3 years.
Oh, for the ink. Yeah. Yep.
3 years. Yep. It's just so simple, and no Bluetooth, no none of that. It's just you just put it there. And I love the parent idea too. You stick it on a kid's toy and stuff, and you're like, you're not allowed to play with that until you do your homework, right?
And then you can see.
And then you walk away, and as any other kid's gonna be like, yeah. And then when they hear you walking back, they rush, put it back on the shelf, and I'm doing my homework. And then you go look. I don't think so. This timer just said it just barely reset.
It's true. It's true. This is like basically how you keep track of like what's in the mini bar, right? You just put one of these in there, and it's like, it moved. Sorry, I'm charging you. Like when you have guests at your house, it's the faux mini bar.
So if you guys are staying at Drew's house, this is what's going to happen. He's going to offer you a faux mini bar.
Yep.
But
I'll keep track of my things though. I think this is a fantastic idea. I really like the idea.
Yeah, it's so simple. You don't have to pair it with anything. You don't have to worry about it. The battery life's awesome. It kind of looks like an Etch-a-Sketch, and people won't think twice about it. And I love the security feature too. If you slap it on a drawer, if you know somebody's going into your candy stash.
Mm-hmm. It'll tell me when the last time it moved, and then I can be like, hold on a minute.
I was teaching class.
That's right. I could have been in here. Who's eating my candy?
So, yeah, is this back for you? Because it's I'm looking at it. It's about there's going to be about $15 when they have go out to retail. So I mean, it's not overly expensive either.
No, right now they still have quite a bit of early bird opening still, $12 or so for one of these. I really feel like it would work well if you had 2 or 3. So you might bump up to the $22 for 2 Thingzos. I think they've got a long ways to go. They still got a month, but they got a long ways to go in their goal. They're only 2,000 out of 75,000, which is a hefty. Mm-hmm. I must say that's a hefty goal. It seems a little like way down the road. I don't know how things are produced, but usually you see the larger goal amounts with more tech and more heavy things. So this is interesting, but I would say this is certainly a back for me. I love the idea. I think it's unique, and I like the idea of just keeping track of what's moving, what's going on.
And if you're wondering, they just barely launched today.
So they're going to do fine.
So they're doing fine. And the funny thing is, I love it, is their first update: video temporary unavailable. We have been told that video cannot be viewed on Tuesday 2/28 because the Amazon web servers on the East Coast of the U.S. are having problems.
Yes.
We live in Amazon's walled garden. Let's think about that.
Yes.
But so I love it. It's such a simple, elegant idea. The only drawback I have with it is, since it only lasts 3 years, the battery is not user replaceable, so you will have to buy a new one in 3 years.
This is a long time.
Yeah.
Whatever you're playing with and tracking its movement will be, you'll have a good idea what's going on in 3 years.
Yeah, so I love it. It is back for me. It is just elegant, smooth, and quick to go. And then our sack of the week, which one did we actually pick for our sack of the week?
Yeah, it's this one right here. New arcade gaming. Very top one, I think, on your list.
Oh, yes.
Go ahead and give us this theme song, and I'll run you through why it's a sack.
All right. It is the sack of the week.
This right here is the new arcade gaming. I think that's a Zelda logo, yeah?
Yes, that's what caught my eye originally, because I'm like, ooh,
Right?
Zelda logo. I want to see what's going on.
So then here's the subtitle: looking to tap into a gaming market which has been around for decades but very underutilized in most areas of the country.
I don't think you knew about the arcade bust in the early 90s.
Basically, I guess not. I've read the little blurbs that he has about this project, and I still don't know what he's trying to do. He says there's a new style arcade for the next generation, offering old, current, new games for everyone to play at friendly all-day price. Because let's face it, games are only going to increase in price. Wouldn't it be nice to play many different games for a fraction of the price without being disappointing that you made a bad investment on your own game and then try and turn around and sell it back for a fraction of the cost? Like, he's kind of disenfranchised with the way gaming works right now with
isn't
consoles.
this what like Redbox and GameFly is for?
Yeah. Or even just Raspberry Pi. Like, if you really want the old style stuff, go make yourself a little Raspberry Pi and you can play it all day long.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a couple problems with this project. One, no video.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know what you're going to actually put into your arcade.
No clue.
Are you gonna have the full cabs? If you're gonna have the full cabs, are you gonna have Galaga? Are you gonna have Centipede, Pac-Man?
Give me a list, right?
I
played Excite Bike this week. I played Classic Tetris, Top Speed,
Top Gear. I saw that. That was awesome.
I played all of those like retro games, like original Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo, or no, on the 64. Actually, I played them both. Anyway, it's like that. That's the list that you need. And so here's the thing. I think the idea, if it were me trying to surmise like what this thing is, yeah, you could get a whole bunch of cabinets and put Raspberry Pis in them and rebuild all of these like fun games to have that gaming experience of the old, current, and whatever. But he doesn't say any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's not that hard because I've been researching on building one for years now. I just need time,
and they're getting easier. Yeah,
time,
they're getting
money,
easier.
and space.
I was really
is probably
impressed.
the biggest problem.
The one that we saw was the guy had a little Raspberry Pi about this much that I played with this weekend. You pop it on, and it had the Nintendo and like 30 classic games.
Yeah.
So perfect fun games that I just thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, it's great. So those are the stuff that's missing. But this drives me nuts. So if you are watching the video version, and if you're not, I'll scroll down under the rewards. So you have make a pledge without a reward, which is $10. That's standard there. The first level pledge is pledge $2,500 or more. You're listed as great backers. You get 2 free season passes that also include many more savings.
Great.
Limited, 1 left of 1. 0 backers. January 2018. The second one, pledge $2,500 or more. Great backers. 2 free season passes. This also includes many more savings. Limited, 1 of 1. And that goes on for, I don't even know. You just keep scrolling and they're still there.
10. There are 10 of them.
Why didn't you just make it limited out of 10 instead of just
It's the exact same thing 10 times.
Oh, man.
Oh, one below that was good. He has First Crazy Backer, which is a lifetime membership for any day that we are open for $10,000.
Yeah.
You come in and play games all you want.
Which, the thing that doesn't make sense is because the one is below it is also called First Crazy Backer.
Yeah.
It is free lifetime membership for any day we are open, plus 2 season passes. That also include many more savings.
Oh, well, how nice is that?
So why wouldn't you go for the one below it? So,
wow.
And yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's the new arcade gaming.
That is our sack of the week because you want $95,000. Again, I always encourage people to have that dollar entry one just because it says it's $1.
Love it.
58 days ago.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're not going to make it, but yeah. So that is our sack of the week. And unfortunately, that is the end of this episode. If you guys have suggestions or you want to be mentioned on a Kickstarter or Kickshout,
Ooh, we should do Kick Sharks. Whatever that is, that just sounds like fun.
I don't know, but yeah, let's
the
get
Kickshouts are also
let's get a 3-camera setup, another judge on here, and people pitch to us and be like,
Kick Shark's a great idea. We will.
Today
the winner
in the
just
tank.
gets us to consult for their project. That's good. That's good.
Oh, that'd be great. So yeah, if you any of the above, we love hearing from you guys. Shoot us an email, kickcast@ktdata.net, or leave it on our Facebook page, facebook.com/kickcast, or on Twitter, which is my preferred social media platform of choice, at Night20 for that beautiful man over there. You may want to ask him, how can I live up to the husband
How can I
year?
be the husband of the year?
Yeah.
I can give you some tips. It's cool. I got this. I wrote a book, a little ebook.
Yeah, at Ktdata if you want to remind me to clean out my fridge once in a while, or at KickCast for any show-related items. Of course, we always encourage you to watch live. We do this live on Twitch and on Facebook, and you can find that at live.kickcast.net or on Twitch, twitch.tv/KTData, or on our Facebook page. And of course, past episodes and stuff, kickcast.net. Our next episode live will be March 14th, 2017. Is that St. Patrick's Day? I don't know.
Well, it's a couple of days after that, but it's in that zone, yeah.
Somewhere. I just know I need to get my buddy a gift because his birthday is on St. Patrick's Day.
Big green.
Drew, you got anything to plug before we go?
I'll do a quick shout out plug for, if you remember, we've been doing this show for a long time, but a while ago, I spent my time at White Cloud's 3D printing company. Yes? Remember those days?
Yep.
We're in the process of making yet another crowdfunding project, but this time we're putting it on WeFunder, which is the one outlet, the one platform where you can you can invest and actually buy percentage parts of the company. So I don't know all the details quite yet.
So you'll have like a firsthand experience on how equity crowdfunding actually works, because I mean that I don't know how any of that works, to be honest with you.
and so I do know a couple of things. I know that like the way that they're setting up, you can set like a minimum investment price of $100 or $500 or $1,000, whatever they decide to set. I don't know their numbers, but it's a really interesting idea that then when it goes into the cap table of the company, all of the backers are combined into a single entity. And that entity gets that piece of the pie of of the actual like investment of the company. And when it comes to any sort of stocks or other things, they're managed outside of the cap table. But for like an investor coming in, they aren't going to see 150 different investors, little micro investors. They see one line item that says, "Here's our WeFund." So that's one interesting thing.
That's pretty cool. I'm excited to kind of see that journey and what you can gain from that side of the world, because I mean that's the new hotness, right, for 2017.
It's a different, a slightly different audience than you'll find on Kickstarter or Indiegogo. They're not the consumer style people. These are folks that are looking to invest and know a little bit more about their projects. So you have to kind of sell them on a lot different data points. Anyway, I'm excited to follow it too, but I'm mainly just playing with the video side of things for this project. So I'll let you know when it's live and hot and ready.
Oh, that's awesome. Of course, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye-bye.